it takes years of that internal talk to yourself of, nope, doesn't matter, not looking, nope, doesn't matter, here's my goal, here's what I'm doing, and it takes a while, yeah. And slip-ups are gonna happen, and that's okay, but how quickly can you get yourself back after you do?
All right, we're live here in Boulder with Lauren Puretz,
Yep.
like Purell.
Like Purell, yep.
Apparently there's a good story behind that.
Yeah.
So Lauren, thanks for taking some time to chat all the way from Colorado Springs.
Yeah, drove up this morning. It was nice.
Sweet. So the first question for this podcast is always a tough one. Who is Lauren?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think I would probably define myself mostly by I'm a pretty passionate, or as my nickname sometimes is, fired up person. So I think that's mostly who I am, as a pretty passionate, competitive, intense person. And that plays whether it's in my role as physician, gynecologist, mom, runner, wife, person in life. But I think that's probably defines me the best. It's pretty fired up.
And when did running enter your life?
Oh, so I actually didn't start running until my senior year of high school. I was a gymnast.
Which doesn't seem all that late.
No, I know. It felt late to me.
Yeah.
But I guess not. I was a gymnast and a soccer player. But just also kind of join the tennis team, because why not? But I made the varsity soccer team my junior year, but I sat the bench the entire year. So I decided I was going to run cross country to get in shape for soccer. And so just joined the cross country team in this, I guess it was in the fall. And I was like, wow, this is way better than soccer. No elbows to my face at all. So
then you got into trail running.
Yeah, I know. I got trail running. Just kidding. No, but yeah. So really got into it as a way to get into shape for soccer, but then fell in love with it from there. And have been running competitively, not so much more competitively ever since.
What was it that you were so into at first that it made it so much better than soccer?
I think it was the team. I think it was the people. It wasn't just you came to practice and you ran. It was people involving you in all aspects of their life, whether it was the pasta parties that we had, or the team bonding of, I don't know, still age me, but going out and TPing people's houses.
You did that today. You get
in trouble. Yeah. I know. Back then it was an honor.
Yeah.
Oh, they TP'd my house.
I saw a tweet today that was remember when we used to pants people?
Yeah, right? Yes. Yeah. Ooh. I know. It's so funny. It's cringy to think about the stuff that was normal when we were, but yeah, the honor of being TP'd. And it was such a cool community, whether it is at the small level of your high school cross country team to now seeing bigger and bigger things. I think it's that got me. I was in a rough part of my life. I was actually just hospitalized for an eating disorder, coming back from that. And I was like, wow, these people are awesome. And including me and when I'm involved. And I just loved it. So yeah, I think it was that.
What happened next?
So I actually, I guess I did pretty well. I got top 10. I grew up in Michigan. I got top 10 in the state and got some offers to run. I guess, didn't think I'd go anywhere with my running, and I should focus on my education. So decided I would go to a D3 school where I'd be a student first and an athlete second. And so ran there, which again was super fun. Had a great time, got education, then went to med school from there. And that's where running kind of took a back seat until after I had my kids. But yeah, so then went on to med school and residency, and then after kids started running again.
Have you been on D3 Glory Days? We got to get you connected to Noah and
There's
Stu.
a D3 Glory Days?
Yeah. Noah Drawdy hosts it in town here. I mean, he doesn't host it in town, but he lives here. And the stars of Division 3.
Yeah. I got stories. I want to be involved. That sounds so fun. I got glory in my Glory Days.
We got to get you connected to Noah and Stu. Okay, so you said running took a back seat in the pursuit of education.
Mm-hmm.
When did it re-enter?
It re-entered after my second kid. So I had my second kid in 2015. By then I had graduated residency, moved out to Colorado, had my second kid, and then I was like, I want to do a marathon again. So decided I would train for, it was a Marine Corps marathon. It was my first one back. And I was like, wow, that was, I guess, okay. And I was like, how do I get faster? And then from there, kind of a lot of, in Colorado Springs, there's this Pike Peak Road Runners. And they have a lot of different like races and race series. Met a lot of people through that. And because it's hard to make friends when you're an adult with kids. Like, how do you make, so met a lot of people through that and then kind of built another community there, training. And then from there, it's kind of snowballed.
So you said you had that exploration or that curiosity of how do you get faster? Mm-hmm. How did you get faster, and why was that something you were focused on?
Yeah, do you want to hear the real first answer to this? I asked my friend, I was like, how do I get faster? He's like, you should try speed work. I was like, oh, speed work.
Maybe run faster. Yeah.
This is literally like how basic I was. And I was like, oh, okay. So then added speed work, and then from there, more weight training, which it's not my thing. I don't like it, but I force myself to do it. And then I think also running with people makes you faster, because it's kind of easy to like, oh yeah, I'll do this, and you kind of jog about. But when you're on with people and you all kind of motivate yourself to go faster, is I think been the key to my success then and now.
What happens next?
From here?
From there?
Oh, well then actually, so then I was doing mostly road, but then living in Colorado, living in the Springs, like most of the time it's trail. So I started doing some more trail running, and was just fun, not competitive. And then I decided to do my first 50K. And as I was training for that, I did the 4-pass loop in Aspen.
Your friend said you might be good at long distance.
Yeah, because my whole life had been like training, like residency, med school residency was just one big sufferfest, and how much would take this. I also went to med school and residency before there were rules. And so it was like, you're right. Like I can suffer for a while and just keep going. And so from there, my curiosity kind of went to longer and longer distances, to now I'm at the 100-mile.
What did that evolution look like? Did you just dive all in? Was it I got to get my feet wet at the 50K, 50-mile, 100K?
I think I did step up slowly.
Yeah.
Thinking back, I want to say 2017, 2018 was my first 50K. And then I think I did step up pretty slowly, because I was pretty nervous about longer, because I don't think I did my first 100 until the first time I did Javelina, which was 4 years ago. Yeah, so I think I slowly increased. And
you have a pretty demanding job at the same time. How have you been balancing the two and a family?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing, I mean, it's not pretty. I'll put, how am I balancing it? It's not pretty. But the biggest thing I did is I dropped obstetrics. So prior to...
What is obstetrics?
So just the care and delivery of pregnant women.
Got it.
Yeah. And so that's really where a schedule is like nights, weekends, holidays, 24 hour, 76 hour, what's 3 days? 72 hour call, like where you're on for the whole time. So I dropped that, and now I just do gyne only. So that's your office and surgeries, and only really on call for myself, as opposed to a big call group where I'm covering a lot of other docs and their patients too. So dropping that has made it so I can be there, because you can't balance it. It's just a matter of what area are you going to allow drop for a little bit before you pick it back up? And so felt like I was doing all my roles poorly. Like I wasn't training very well. I wasn't sleeping well. I wasn't being the best mom. I wasn't being the best partner. I wasn't being the best physician. And so once I dropped that, then I was able to at least get a little bit more of a regular schedule and a regular sleep pattern, to where I was then able to, with my partner, figure out how can we balance this, and having him step up in a lot of ways has been able, so I can do the training. I can, as he says, frolic in the mountains for as long as I want.
And so you've had some great results at the 100-mile distance and in the ultra distance already. What has that been like, where many people are doing this full time, and then many people are full-time, working full-time and trying to run full-time as well, or full-time. How have you has that been a mental challenge where you know that some of the people you're racing, like this is all they focus on? Or do you think that having the structure of something else as not a distraction, but giving that structure has been
Yeah.
helpful for you?
I think it's interesting because I have this debate in my head all the time where I think there's like maybe some jealousy, right? Of like,
Yeah.
oh, they get the time, they get the ability to, to train and do the recovery, whereas I'm like shoving it into these little nooks and crannies of time that I can figure it out. But at the same time, is it that I'm don't really have time to like, I've got to get it done or don't, I can't think about it, got to get it, whatever time I have, make it work, makes me more efficient. And it's that little bit of extra edge that I have that's like, yeah, I finish a run and I immediately drive to work where I try to shove some food in my mouth, shower at work, change, and like slap on some makeup while I see my first patient. And that just ability to just keep going no matter how it's however the day is rolling out, however the training is rolling out, I have to keep going. Is that what gives me the edge in those tough moments to keep going? And I don't know.
I have to think yes.
Yeah, right? Like, is that why, when a race goes sideways, which it always does in some way, shape, or form, I'm like, yep, just another day for me of like balancing all the chaos. And therefore, I'm able to adapt and keep going as opposed to, this isn't the perfect thing I planned for. And then kind of crumbling from there. I don't know what that looks like. My life doesn't look like that. And so I'm able to just, all right, same old, keep going. Yeah, but I think there's a little bit of that like frustration, if I'm being honest with myself, some jealousy, but I think it's also maybe what gives me an edge in a way.
Do you think that some of it is like the job you're doing is so needed and necessary that there's an aspect of fulfillment that like if you were doing something else that, like, not to knock other jobs, but you're helping people with their health.
Yeah.
It's not much. There's like not much that's more fundamental than that.
Yeah.
Do you think if it were something else, it might be harder to do all the things, or is that not really a consideration?
I don't know. I mean, I've never thought about it that way. I do think that probably plays into burnout, right? In terms of like, why do I continue this? I think I'm a pretty good surgeon, and so I like fixing things. I like there's nothing that gives me more joy than when somebody like, I have a problem and I'm like, well, I can fix that, and then I do fix it, and then they're like, thanks, I can live my life now. And I'm like, my pleasure.
Doing my job.
Literally just doing my job. Like, you don't need to thank me. This is like,
just pay the bill.
Yeah, right. I enjoy surgery.
What is that like?
Oh, it's so fun. Surgery it's intense. It's scary. It's intense. There's nothing quite like having somebody's like life there. But then having that confidence to be like, well, if a problem happens, I can also fix that too. But it is pretty neat. I mean, not everything needs to be surgical. I do a lot of medical treatments, right? But I would say, don't ask me if I can operate, because the answer is yes, I will. And if I'm telling you don't need surgery, you probably really don't, because I probably want you to. But yeah, it's pretty cool to like fix it. I don't know.
How do you train that muscle of like the stakes are so high.
Yeah.
Whereas in running, it's the sandbox where failure is okay, right? It's not gonna have an impact. And I have to imagine that there's carryover of like what you're doing professionally allows you to like stand on a starting line and be like, like I can troubleshoot anything kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it does. It is that little bit. It's that knowledge. It's that confidence to be like, things could be worse. I always think one of my past coaches, I was having a rough day and I texted him mid-run and I was like, this is not going well. He's like, at least you're not delivering babies. And I'm like, at least I'm not delivering babies. Right. So it's like everything is okay. It's manageable. It's just running. This is what I do to not be working. This is what I do for fun. So keep it fun, keep it real, keep going. Like, and I just think maybe that perspective is kind of maybe where its most value is, because it's two kind of different skill sets, like not operating out on the trails, right?
Yeah, but like, if you're familiar with Devin Yanko, she would always say like, work the problem. Yeah. So she knew that when she lined up for a 100-mile race, she would be dealing with a handful of problems.
Right.
She would need to work and troubleshoot and triage. And I feel like there's like no type of person other than someone in the medical field, a firefighter or something like that, who is better equipped to work the problem as someone like that.
Right. I've never thought about it, but yeah, if I'm having a difficult endometriosis case, it's one step at a time. Like we're trying to dissect off a bowel from a uterus that shouldn't be stuck together, and you don't want to cut either, right? And it's like one move. Okay, now I recognize, okay, that plane. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and it's just one step at a time, which is basically what 100 miles is 1 mile at a time. I never thought about that, but it's true. Yeah.
There's so much overlap.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're so well equipped to do both of these things at a high level? Was there something in your childhood that you were like, hey, I saw this thing and now I'm inspired to solve problems?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm a medical child, so my dad was an ER doc. My mom was a pediatric nurse. So there was something about the fixing it that I liked, I think, from that perspective. And I think maybe just a child of the 80s, where it was like, I mean, for good or bad, emotions weren't there. Like, just keep going. And I think that has what I kind of keep carry through is like, doesn't matter what's going on. Keep going for your goal and you'll get there eventually. It may not be pretty, but one step at a time, and just that focus on the future as opposed to what's right there in front of you.
So as you start having success on the trails, did you have thoughts around like, hey, I want to work with a brand. I want some additional support, or for you, was that not a consideration given your full-time work? Because there's definitely been like a call for brands, hey, sponsor her. She's great. She's got a great story, kind of a thing.
I mean, I wouldn't, oh, how do I say this? I mean, the support would be really nice, right? Like, running's expensive. They say it's a cheap sport, but it's not a cheap sport. So I'd love support. I'd actually really like a team like that. Like, again, that camaraderie, that team, like, I think I saw it a lot going out to UTMB. Like, they're out there for training camps beforehand. They're all like working together on how to do, and having that kind of closer knit community would be really nice, I think, more than anything else. But then I also know that having my full-time job means that I can still do this even without a brand, which is also kind of freeing, and that my results are for me. And ultimately, nobody cares, right? Like, I don't have somebody saying, oh, if you don't perform, we're going to drop you. So I can just have fun out there. And if I have a bad race or if I don't finish, then nobody really cares except for me. And so it is a little bit freeing, but I wouldn't turn down a good opportunity to have that team and that network.
So it sounds like you've thrived over the years on a sense of community and team, as you're talking about. How do you create that without having like a formal brand behind it? It's certainly possible, and most of the people listening are probably also dying to have some sort of camaraderie or team with or without a financial component attached to it. So how have you created it? And the reason I ask is because I know you have, and it looks very fun following along on social.
Yeah, I'm really annoying.
That's
I
helpful.
text people all the time. You want to run? Will you run with me? What time you want to run? Are we going to run? Do you want to run? I semi-joke, but I don't joke that I'm a codependent runner and that I want to run with people. I will change my plans. I will change what I'm supposed to do, I will be late to something if I can run with people. So I'll modify to just force that community. So I just am that annoying person who's texting almost every day. Like, when are we going to run? Do you want to run with me? And I've forced it. And then from there, once people are like, oh, that's who you are. Okay, we'll run with you. And then building it into just I feel like the first step was let's get coffee afterwards. Let's get food afterwards or brunch afterwards. And then kind of snowballing that into more and more fun events. And like I said, I'm pretty fired up. So I like to do things, plan things. And
I so relate to that. I used to come visit Colorado, and I remember in 2018, 2019, something like that. I came here. I did 70 miles in a whatever period, 8 or 9 days I was here. and only 4 of them were solo.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just like managed to run with people constantly.
Yeah.
And like if I had my way, I would do 100% of my miles
Yeah, me too.
with people, because it's like I work with David. I think, you still
Megan.
work with Megan? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So David made a comment to me a couple of years ago now. He's like, you have like an outsized influence on RPE when you run with other people. It's just like insane.
Yeah.
And so like my average pace if I'm running by myself is like an easy pace is like 8:15 to 8:30. But I can jog along with someone at a 7:30, like same effort.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like bizarre
It's
how
100%.
it works.
My run this morning, I did it by myself because I needed to finish early to be able to get up here. And I think I ran like the same loop, like significantly slower than if I run with people. And it feels harder.
Right, totally.
Yeah. So I think that's what, like, it gives me energy.
Totally.
I'm kind of an introvert in terms of like I need my alone time outside of running, but with running, I'm a big extrovert.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's like dashboard time, except running straight forward, and you're running instead of driving. What's firing you up about 2026? From a running perspective.
Okay, I was
not
gonna say,
like the dumpster fire the rest of the year.
Okay. Well, that I don't think I know what 2026 is going to look like.
You seem to be a very curious person, so it seems like the curiosity of like what's around the corner is.
Yeah. Like I'm throwing my hat into Chianti, so kind of excited about that trip and that race of what it turns into. What is
the wine?
Yeah, the wine. I know. I know. We were joking about going to Napa, and I was like, "Let's go big."
Let's go to Chianti.
Yeah. Why go to Napa? We just. But yeah, just like what is that going to turn into, and then from there, what's my year going to turn into? And I feel like I've just thrown my hat into like all the lotteries to be like, all right, what's going to stick? But I was super scared of big mountain races until UTMB, and I think training for that and running that has given me a lot more confidence than I had before. Not necessarily because of the result, but because I did it. And I just don't think that that's my bread and butter. Being a roadrunner convert, that the big mountain stuff, the overnight, I didn't think I didn't think I could do it. Like I wanted to sign up for Run Rabbit since a friend did it like 5-6 years ago, and I was too afraid. Same kind of with Leadville. And now I'm like, well, if I could do that, maybe I can do these other ones. And it's given me, I think, a little more confidence to go into those other big races.
What is it about those races versus doing something that's more within your wheelhouse that's pushing you? Right? Because like you could just do javelina over and over and over again.
I have.
True.
Because, well, I'm super competitive. I think I'm the hardest person on myself. And so not doing well would be a disappointment. So that's why, like, if I'm not going to be there and do my best, why would I go? And I didn't think that I was good at it. So that's why I haven't gone. So yeah, I think it's that fear of failure that has kept me from trying those until now.
How do we make something like Leadville a more competitive field where it's like, instead of a couple of people that are competitive, it's like 20 or 30?
I don't know. I mean,
what's the call to action?
Yeah, because you would think like, it's not the lottery, because a lot of competitive races have lotteries. Is it like, this is why I literally thought of it. Is it because it's not an ultra sign up? Like as simple as that. I remember I went to go sign up for like Silver Rush or someone to maybe get a coin or whatever. And I was like, I don't even know where this thing is. Well, okay, what's next?
Is it Athlinks?
I think it's just through Lifetime.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, kind of like was it the Aspen Power 4 race? I was looking for that one too, and I was like, it's not an ultra sign up. I guess it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. Is it just not because it's like, it's kind of that thing where if it's not on Amazon, does it even exist?
Right.
Is it that same concept for ultra sign up because I don't think it's the lottery. And there's plenty, like you can get a coin at Silver Rush and the Leadville Marathon. So I don't know, but that was what was one of my issues. So I don't know if it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for those listening, I've talked at length about Leadville, and we're looking at Leadville behind these bright lights over there. I want that to be my first 100.
Yeah.
And I'm about to run the Burrito League loops next weekend.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, it will have already happened. But they're doing a giveaway where if you run, every segment is a raffle ticket to
Okay.
win an entry to Leadville.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what happens if I enter? And
Yeah.
I've only gone 40 miles in a race before. So I feel like that would be a giant step up.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it, because you think about, is it because it's more runnable on, but Javelina's very competitive.
Yeah.
Does it need to enter into the, golden ticket, the UTM Beach Stones concept, something like that? Maybe it's independent. But yeah, it used to be huge. I mean, there's whole books on it, right?
Yeah.
And then it's kind of fallen to where it's not a not prestigious race, but it's not that like it used to be.
Yeah. Well, call to action. If you're listening, sign up for Leadville. Well, I guess you can't, but find your way into Leadville. Raise it hard.
No, it's still on my list. We'll see how this year goes.
I'm curious if we can talk about, you mentioned an eating disorder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious your thoughts on how that has impacted your running, how you think about fueling today in 2026, both with the hat of Lauren the runner and Lauren the medical expert.
Yeah. Mine was in high school, and mine wasn't image-based. Like, it wasn't like I thought I was overweight or I wanted to lose weight or things like that. Mine was more of a perfectionist, like, oh, I'm going to get in shape, and here's how I'm going to get in shape, and I'm going to do all the right things and eat all the right stuff, which then snowballed into... And this is even before the internet and misinformation, so I can't even imagine now how that could happen. But yeah, so mine...
How could it not happen?
Not happen, yeah right. But yeah, better way to say that. And so for me, and I think people with eating disorders maybe can relate to this, where you always have it, even after you've recovered from it since, what was it, like 1999 that I was hospitalized for it? 2000. And so I have to be very careful to not compare myself to other people and what they're eating, and be very intentional with, this is what I need to fuel me. And that comparison game can be very difficult. I think the high carb kind of push has been good, just because it's, even if I try to compare myself, especially during races, I'm not abnormal, right? If I were doing high carb. So that's made it slightly better or more acceptable. But just that, here's what your body needs to fuel itself. And here is how we know you're not. And so that's where the medical hat comes in, where, I always say your period is your vital sign. If you're not getting that, or if there's other signs that could be signs of under... or reds, I guess is now the new term, that is something that you need to focus on. And I think that my competitive nature is coming in the opposite way, and that I don't really care what I look like or what, I just want to do well. And if I need to do well, here's what I need to eat. Here's what I need to do to get there. And so having that like kind of blinders on to other people while simultaneously figuring out within my own body what is making it perform the best has been best. And then when I'm talking to patients, that same thing of like, don't compare. Yes, somebody else may be doing this, but they're able to get pregnant, but you're not, right? Because your periods aren't regular. So I don't really care what the other person is doing. I don't care what this BMI number is, normal, not normal. If your body's not, then there's something going on, and kind of having them put on blinders to other people and focus on their outcome that they want, or whatever they're there to see me for.
It sounds like a lot of work was done to get to that mental place that you're in today, while also acknowledging that it's kind of always lurking in the, not lurking in the background, but present.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
Years. I feel like the last time I really had a bad, I remember exactly when it was, I don't know, it was right before the Imogen Pass race, and I was like, well, she's not eating, maybe I shouldn't be eating. Anyways, and it takes years of that internal talk to yourself of, nope, doesn't matter, not looking, nope, doesn't matter, here's my goal, here's what I'm doing, and it takes a while, and slip-ups are gonna happen, and that's okay, but how quickly can you get yourself back after you do?
What's your call to action for someone that might be struggling right now? What would you say to them, maybe from the medical professional lens?
To me, it would be, what's your bigger goal, right? Like if you want to get pregnant, if that's your bigger goal, then you may have to ignore whatever other thing you have. And do you want that? How bad do you want that? Right? I remember when I was hospitalized, there was a girl there and we were all just like, we just wanted to get out of the hospital, this eating disorder clinic. And she didn't want to. She didn't want to be better. She wanted to stay how she was. And I remember being like, you mean your goal is not to get out of here as fast as humanly possible? Oh, we don't all have the same goals, right? But if that's your goal is to remain whatever image you want and you don't care about outcomes, whether it's racing or pregnancy, then there's probably not much the medical community can do besides force, right? But ultimately, if your goal is to get out of the clinic, right? Get out of the eating disorder clinic. What are you aiming for? And put blinders on for that. And that's probably the only way you're going to be able to continue is by focusing on that and not worrying about all the other things. Again, that's simply put, right? Because those stressors are going to come in there. Those concerns are going to come in there. But if you feel that relapse coming, being like, wait a minute, I'm here to do this race. And if I don't eat, if I don't train, I'll never accomplish that. And doesn't matter what I look like in the shorts, right? If you're crossing that finish line, doing well, I don't care what I look like as I go across. So that I think is that kind of like same concept of smoking. If you don't want to quit smoking, I'm not going to make you. Right. I'm not going to be able to. So what can I get you to see as a reason to quit smoking? Same concept with that nutrition.
How is it that in this sport that is so, particularly as you go longer, it requires fueling and you simply can't continue if you don't fuel beyond, like you can run a marathon underfueled and it won't feel good. But you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
You can't run.
No, I don't think you can.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
Unless you're touting the fat adapted fasted thing, which is, you must be an extreme outlier and be male for it to.
Yeah. But even then, there's a limit.
Right.
Yeah.
How did we get here? And I don't know that you have all the answers or any answers on this, but like, what's your take, again, maybe as a runner who is a medical professional, on this like odd alignment of things that seem to be totally butting heads, right? They can't exist at the same time, yet they so frequently do.
I mean, I always thought is it short-term goals, right? Like you can, I think, struggle through, do whatever underfueled, maybe not a race, but like
you can burn hot.
Yeah. And then you're going to burn out, whether because you're injured or because it's just not sustainable mentally and physically. And so is it that I need one hot result? And I think about this when it comes to like me and my running career. I don't think I have one hot result that makes me super hot to brands. I have kind of some consistent
bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, but nothing like. And so is it that one hot race that you win, that's what gets you sponsored? And then from there, hey, you can kind of figure it out and without that one hot. And so is it the, being as light as possible, especially for faster, shorter stuff, that's going to get you there and then you'll kind of figure it out later? I don't know, because it doesn't create longevity.
And I don't know that it works that way. So Kelly Newland and I had a chat on Long Run Labs a few weeks ago. That episode came out in December. And there were a handful of athletes that submitted questions for it that are at that edge of like good or to great. And some of them have had like one great performance. She was like, nope, it's not one great performance. Unless you're winning Western States or UTMB, maybe. Like you need multiple good performances. And then a couple weeks ago, Emma Coburn sat in this seat and she's 35. I feel like we're the same age. She's 35, I want to say. She went to the 2016 Olympics and she's still competing 10 years later. And so I talked through it with her of like, you have always set a great example for your teammates, for the next generation. Like Team Boss has generally been a pretty healthy, resilient group. And if you follow them on Instagram, they're like at Avanti having dinner with each other twice a week, kind of a thing. And so like the culture of excellence around a group like that is really cool to see. And that's in, a race that's a couple of minutes long versus a couple of days.
So is it this lingering falsehood that being not underfueled, but underweight is going to make you faster? And it's just kind of this little, weed that hasn't been able to be completely picked because it continues? Because I feel like by now we've proven it wrong again. So why do people still believe that?
I think it's observation bias.
Yeah.
I think we see results and we don't see what happens when those results stop.
Yeah.
And it's true of like anything with social media, that it appears awesome until it's not.
Yeah.
And you don't often tell the story of, oh, this part sucks. That thing I didn't actually work for the long run. And so like with the podcast, is literally called For the Long Run. I'm so obsessed with understanding how do we do it for the long run? How do we figure out a way to do things more sustainably? That's why I keep bringing up a conversation like this.
Right, because you'd think that and like I said, like when I make a community, it's like, let's go out and get food, let's go out, and that's how you kind of make that. And I feel like life in general is kind of built around food, maybe drinks too, but yeah, and how is that?
And certainly some cultures too. Like I'm Jewish, and all my memories of like celebrating Judaism, it's like, oh, somebody tried to kill us, let's eat.
Yeah, right. I'm Jewish too, so I get you. Yeah. Let's dip our finger in the salt water so we can be sad, and then let's eat some more. And next round.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's weird. Like I said, my eating disorder wasn't around that, like, and I think I was pretty lucky. I read, was it Lauren Fleshman's book? And I didn't have that. Again, I came from an eating disorder, so like you'd think I didn't have that pressure, especially in soccer. Like there was no being skinnier is better. And then when I joined cross country, we had no pressures in those directions at all. So I didn't connect with that part of the book because I was like, there was no one telling me to drop weight in order to get better. And then I went to college where I said I was a student first and an athlete second. So if I was like, I have a big test coming up, I'm really nervous, my coach would be like, go home, right? Go study, do whatever you need to calm down. But even afterwards, we'd go, and after cross-country practice, we'd go, I went to a small private school, Kalamazoo College, so you had to live on campus until your senior year, which means you had to have a meal plan till your senior year. And like the whole team would go and we'd sit in the cafeteria from the minute it opened to the minute it closed. And it was like, that was your time. And then after that, you went and studied or whatever. But like, that was your time to like connect. And there was never any pressure of weight in either direction. It was all just fun around food. So I never had that, even though I had an eating disorder prior to. And I think that's the running community I know. And so I find it very confusing because it's not what I think most maybe people know.
Right.
But how do we get that to the norm, right? The team bosses, the brunch after run as the norm.
You said something there that I found really interesting. All of it's interesting. You said something that I want to poke on further. You said if you were having a stressful time in school, your coach would say, go do your thing. Mm-hmm. I love the concept of like long-term 80% versus short-term 99 or 100%.
Yeah.
I've worked for a bunch of startups and I've seen when people try and go 100% all the time.
Yeah.
You can do it. Again, same with running. Like you can go all in for a short period of time and burn really hot. But like I've always been, I don't want to say 80%, but 90% and focus a lot on things like being flexible or like doing things that are important to me or like structuring my day around running so that it's not, I can wake up, do a little work, go for a run, do more work the rest of the day. And that's not like what most people are doing. It's like we have the before work time, the work time, and then for me, it blends. Do you think that this flexibility or ability to, flexibility. Do you think that that's part of what's enabled you to continue to run at this level many years later?
Yeah, I mean, probably, right? Like, I've got to be running by 6 a.m. Doesn't matter the weather, doesn't matter the conditions. Like, just more recently, like trying to do workouts when just snow and ice is everywhere. It snowed a lot more.
It snows here?
Yeah, I know. It snowed a lot in the springs. And like, it's like, oh, well, I guess I'm doing this workout. Paces aren't going to be on track. I'm not going to get the vert I need or whatever but I guess I'm going to do what I can, right? Or, I guess we'll adapt and we'll switch plans up. And so, yeah, having that again, like, I don't think training is a exact perfect, just like medicine. It's an art. It's not. And so,
I want my surgeon to be perfect.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah.
Don't give me 80% if you have
more
knives
surgery.
involved.
I know. I always, random aside, I always think of this like, there's a silent quitting thing that's like this, whatever that's going on. I was like, can you imagine if your doctor silent quit? If your surgeon silent quit? Like, I don't get that luxury to silent quit.
Just not show up one day.
Like, oh man, got that ureter, my bad.
Still
another day. Anyways, but that's aside. But yeah, no, like having that flexibility that, it's not going to be perfect. I also think that and maybe this is me and I don't know what's wrong with me, but something about like imperfect training gives me the ability to go into a run and be like, see what happens, versus if everything was perfect, I think I'd have to perform perfect, where I'm like, well, that was not the best training block, but here I am on the start line. Let's see what happens. It gives me that like freedom to just see what happens on the day, because that's, I suppose, life. But especially my life of just, well, let's see what happens, because nothing was perfect leading up.
How much has Megan played a role in that?
Megan, I think, is my angel on my shoulder, and I'm the devil on my shoulder. I listen to audiobooks purely to silence my own self-doubt, especially at the start of races, because I'm like, well, this sucks. I feel terrible. This is going terrible. Nothing's going to happen. And Megan's like, I'm like, it's okay. You still didn't really, it's the effort was there. Don't worry about it. I feel like she's like my little angel who's like, it's okay. You're the only one being hard on yourself right now. Don't you see that you actually did well at that race? And I'm like, nah, I could have done better. So I feel like she's that for me in that spectrum.
And you've been working with her for a while now, right?
Yeah. So was it from my second javelina? I want to say I think I started when Leo was born. Like, I think I started. Yeah. So I think I started right before he was born, because she was like, so great to work with you. I'm having a baby in a week, or something to that effect. So it was like right around when she had Leo. So that's my time rate. So 4 years.
Yeah.
He's 4 already?
I think so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think so.
See, I don't know.
We should fact check this.
I know.
Check the fact checkers. Those that are watching on YouTube Live, which is nobody.
Yeah, probably know better than we do. But somewhere in that range. In the range that a kid has been born and is now walking and talking.
Why did you choose to work with her?
I was working with Matt Daniels, and he decided to focus on running for a hot sec, so kind of got rid of all of his coaching clients. And then I was just like, hey, who will take me? So got the name through there. Actually, I think I contacted David first, and he was like, you'd probably do better with Megan. And then connected us. Yeah.
What's the benefit of, like, how has she helped you on the flexibility piece, knowing that she comes from a medical background also?
Yeah.
Like, what's your guidance for a runner in the medical space? Is perhaps a better way to ask that question.
Well, I mean, I think you got to really be honest with yourself, like, as you're going. Like, I think we can delude ourselves into thinking everything's fine, and really push through a lot. I think most people who are running to the point where they are needing a coach or wanting a coach are probably people who will push through to the point of injury exhaustion. And so I I think she helps with that too, of like, well, I'm not doing well. This sucks. Everything sucks. Why even bother? And she's like, you feel this way every time at this point. And she kind of says that overarching picture of like, yeah, I see a pattern here. Like this is a moment, whether it's within my cycle or whether it is in, post race, before the next race type of a thing, and being able to kind of adapt, because I think I'm that person who will try to push and be like, no, everything's fine. I should do this. I can do this. Like, don't make up excuses. And her being like, well, if you feel like this, it's okay. And then I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like, because I think I have that fear of like disappointing her, like, oh, you didn't do the training, no wonder you didn't do well, or something to that effect, right?
Where does that come from?
Yeah, oh. Again, the 1980s are rough. It's a rough time. Yeah, I think that she gives me that ability to give myself grace that I would feel really bad about if I did myself. It's a lot easier to give people advice than it is to take your own.
Definitely. What's one thing you know today that you wish you knew when you started running?
That I'm an okay runner. Like I kind of have this like, I don't know, regret. Again, who knows what would happen? But when back, why didn't I run in college to be a runner? And
but again, do you think that like you're still doing it because of that versus being in spite of it?
Right. That's what I had this conversation with a friend on a run, and I was like, I regret not going to the D1 school, not seeing like what could I have done.
Then you couldn't have been on D3 Glory Days.
Yeah, I know, right? God, you have to hook me up with that, because then, I got stories. But she was like, well, would you even be running right now? Would you be so burnt out?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got this great 5K PR that you don't even want to think about because you don't even want to run anymore because you've had such a negative experience. And the reason why you're here today running is because you did take that time for yourself to get your education and do what you want to do in that period of time. And I said, I don't know, but I think one of the reasons I did is because I didn't think I would be very good at running, and so I might as well rely on my brain for a living. And I wish, I guess more than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that I would have been like, why not? Right?
Yeah.
And push myself a little bit harder then.
I wish we could have scorecards of college programs. If you look at the number of people who are still running 20 years after graduation, like Stanford, for example, a lot of the Stanford grads I graduated in 2012, not from Stanford, but I'm 35 now, and a lot of people that are in my class or around there are like still running competitively. I feel like Emily Infeld is in that.
Yeah.
And like people like her, Sarah Hall went to Stanford and she's 42 and just like still crushing and just like still on the ascent.
God, that gives me such hope.
Yeah. I just wish that we could have a scorecard like that. I know, and
I don't want to name names, but like you think of other schools, you're like, everybody's burnt out or injured.
Burnt out, broken.
And I do. I wonder if it is very coach whatever related, because
it's the program.
Yeah,
probably.
Right. But yeah, so I always wonder, like what could have been, or it could have been nothing. I could have not even been running. But I wish I would have believed in myself more.
Well, the upside is you can believe in yourself for the next decade and the next decade and the next decade.
Right.
Fast forward for many decades ahead.
Okay.
What are you really proud of from a running perspective?
That I kept showing up. Yeah. I keep on putting myself on these start lines that are pretty competitive, really intimidating. And I kind of am proud of myself for like going. Like even if it wasn't a great day, or if it was a great day, like I got to have a great day in a great field and didn't shy away from it.
How do you get there? I feel like the reason I ask is I feel like a lot of people are intimidated to do big things, whether it's because of the competition or more likely because of the terrain or the challenge that's ahead of them if they're not on the competitive side, like competitive field side.
Yeah.
How do you keep putting yourself in the arena like that?
This is probably not the best moment, because I don't know how many years left I have, right? Like I'll be 43 this year, and like you have such great role models on women running really strong for longer. But if you look at the general trend, like I don't know how much more I'll have. So that's also why I race a lot, because I'm like, I want to do all these races and I only have so many years left. So I guess I'll just do it. Otherwise, I never will, or I won't. I'll do it in a way that's fun, and I'll have fun and do these, as opposed to competitive and doing these races. Not that they can't be fun and competitive, but that different mindset, I suppose. And so I feel very pressured by time, which is kind of what pushes me when I'm like, no, like I said, I wanted to run Rabbit and Leadville, and I was just so scared for so many years to do them, and now I'm like, when am I going to do it? I don't have a lot of time left. I better start doing, races like that. It was why I did UTMB last year, because I was like, who knows if I'll ever have an opportunity again. First time I do an overnight race, probably shouldn't do it across the world. I could have done it right here in my backyard, but instead. And so it's just like, I don't know if I'll have these opportunities again. And I feel very pressured by time that I may not be able to do it. So that's, I think, what gets my the fire under my butt lit.
I read this morning about Mike Wardian, who's 51 now. He did the 7 marathons on 7 continents twice. And now he's doing 7 50Ks on 7 continents. And trying to set the record in that. And it's like there seem to be some people who are just ageless. As a male, it's easier, but there are more examples of it. But to your point, like we're seeing it with Sarah, we're seeing it with so many athletes. Dot McMahon, if you're familiar with her, she just qualified for her 6th Olympic trials. She's
like
46.
49. Okay, yeah.
I think she's 46.
Yeah, you just see that, and like, again, I don't know if the media's not covering it or if it's just that few, but it gives us old women hope.
But I think there are, like, we're seeing more outliers. I don't know if you can even call it outliers at this point, because it's happening more, or we're just hearing about it more.
Right, that's the thing, right? Like, is it happening more because we hear about it, or is it just happening more? I don't know.
Probably both.
Yeah, but it's so inspiring because, like I said, I have that fear of, like, how much time do I have left? And it's kind of scary, but it's what gets me like, well, you're going to do this because you may never get to do it again. So here you are.
But that's always true. Like, you could walk out of my house and get hit by a bus, right?
Valid point, right?
The last race you did is the last race you did.
It's so true, right? So, like, whatever it is that has that, I don't even know, what's that term, right? Where you see the end. There's a term for it.
The light.
Yeah, it's the light, right? Somebody's going to have to kind of kick your butt to do it because it is scary.
Love it. Sweet. This has been a blast. Appreciate you sharing your time and thoughts. Where can people find you if they want to follow along with your story?
Yeah. So I'm Lauren1642 on Instagram.
Where did that come from?
So my favorite, I used to be Piglet, because back in the AOL days, but that lead to dirty messages. So then I just changed it to my name. 16 was my favorite number. That was my soccer number. But then you got your number based on your shirt size, and I'm small, so I had to then go down to 4, and then I had to go down to 2, and then I don't like odd numbers because I don't know why, because I'm odd, so I do even numbers. So those are my soccer numbers and how I got that.
And what about the Purell?
Oh yeah, the Puretz. So this is okay. So I am a high schooler. And I walk into my dad's office, and he's on the phone, and he's like, hey, this is Les Puretz.
This is the story of Lauren learning her last name.
Because I'm a high schooler, and I hear my dad say, yeah, this is Les Puretz. And I looked at him, and I was like, Puretz? I've been saying Puretz, like Tourette's, my entire life. And your name rhymes with Tourette's. You kind of get made fun of.
So you've been telling people that and putting yourself in.
So then that's why I'm saying it's Puretz, like Purell, so that no one ever says it rhymes with Tourette's anymore.
Incredible.
But yeah, so that's how I learned my last name in high school.
Can't beat a story like that. Lauren, this has been a blast. You're off to make vision boards and find out what 2026 looks like.
Well, we know it's going to have some wine. That's all we know.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.